Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene set in a Vampire a Requiem for London. Tonight's scene takes place within Newington University in Southwark. One of the oldest Kindred Kindred hotspots in the city's history, dating back many centuries, all the way back to the construction of the university itself. Initially under the control of the Invictus, it's since entered the arms of the Order in the past few decades, and remains a popular gathering place for Kindred of all covenants. One of the only gathering locales for Kindred within Ordo territory, at least from a cross-covenant standpoint. And is ran by a David Neonate. Tonight, various Kindred have gathered, either to speak, curry favour with each other, spectate, or celebrate their most recent achievements. You may all introduce yourselves at your leisure. We'll start with Joshua. You're the one non-order here. The black
Fuck it, this decides what I must do. Bishop, I'm gonna pop all 5 resources for fancy pants.
Okay. You are.
I will come into this bitch pimping.
You're gonna look like MC Hammer, aren't you?
You are meticulously well dressed.
No, he's not. He is not meticulously well dressed. He looks like he should be going on his way to a punk rave, including the really shitty emo makeup.
Well, you're not gonna get any bonus dice that way.
I know, but I'm spending all of the money just so I can throw it away.
Just so you can take massive dice penalties.
Yep.
The man's making a statement, I approve.
Hey, Izzy, you want to go to a happening? A happening, indeed.
He's down with the kids, yo.
A happening.
I mean, all things considered, I probably invited you.
Oh.
Yes,
and then you decided to show up like this because we can't have nice things.
The best part is that is almost certainly how this went down.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, you want to go to a bar? And you're like, sure, give me an hour. And then you come back with this, whatever's happening right now.
Whatever the fuck this... 1 second, let me change my camera for this. It's
which I'm kind of okay with.
It's whatever the fuck this is.
Hang on, Bishop. Since you turned on your camera, show us Hulu immediately. Oh, it's gone.
Sure, okay. Yeah, here it is. Here's your false sense of security for the scene.
He looked so happy.
Yay! False sense of security.
Yes, this is a happy old Lulu. Look at it. Ah. It's so cute.
This is the reason why for like 3 months after I met him, I thought Chris was gay.
Yeah.
How about we get back to topic and back to the game?
That's Wuluist.
But yeah, so he will come in with Izzy, kind of wrapped, kind of has his arm wrapped around her waist. He looks vaguely bored already. Like, you took me to a university bar. I didn't like these when I was alive.
There are Kindred. Harpies here. Carthian. Of course, plenty of Ordo.
We can go to whatever the heck you're dressed for afterwards if you want.
Neat.
Some shithole in the urban center, I'm sure.
Hey guys, it's okay. What year was this set in? 2010.
2010.
Hey guys, you got 10 more years to not worry about the COVID-19 virus. It's fine. But
And then
yeah,
run
so
some penalties, hit -10 dice. Whoops.
Oh, look, you're dead.
You know
he
what?
smiles to see.
All I have to say is COVID must make it very hard for vampires to actually hunt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be fun.
Or easy, because people are more likely to be alone.
Yeah, it'll make certain people, but for some who are social hunters.
But yeah, so he says, so this is how you order people to loosen up, eh?
Be nice.
Julian would arrive soon, wearing a bit different clothes than he normally does. They're a bit nicer, pressed, though they're still a half size, a bit too small for his frame. And he'll notice the doctor and kind of incline his head, and then look at Joshua in his garish clothes and just kind of look at him blankly, then look over to her.
You know, I'm led to understand that it's traditional to greet the Archon with even a little bow. So, little bow. Little bow?
I am confused of what messages you're signaling me with your attire.
Oh, that I'm goth punk trash and simply don't care.
You know, most people grow out of that phase.
Sweetheart, I've been alive for 50 years. I invented that phase.
Fucking kids.
So, then, what brings you here, Archon? So,
My dear lady friend decided that tonight we had to. I don't know. By the way, Bishop, this is a university bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Decided that tonight we had to, I don't know, drink really shit beer at half price rates for students. I don't know. It's what she likes, I guess.
I see.
I just like watching you squirm.
Well, do please enjoy yourself here. So, and Julian looks like he's looking out for other people as he begins to leave their presence.
I'll send you a memo about the little bow.
What is with you tonight?
Marcus comes in. He seems to be coming out from the cold and maybe hunting. Difficult to say, but he has got a pretty sour expression on his face.
Hey, Marcus.
Oh, hi there, Isabella. Archon Baneforth, and he gives you a short salute.
So, what looks like it literally... Why does it look like somebody literally pissed in your Cheerios?
Interesting metaphor. It might actually not be that far from the truth.
Gross.
That's highly disturbing. Continue.
Now I'm interested.
Hunting was a bit shite tonight. Well, that and the one guy who didn't want to let me into the club. Anyway. So,
Wait, whoa. Someone didn't want to let my man Marcus into a club. Do I have to go and sort a bitch? I sense we should go and sort a bitch.
I mean, is it really even worth the bother?
Hang on. What was the name of the club?
The Red Dagger?
One moment. Joshua takes out his phone, at which point, because he's riding high on his own fame at the moment, he's going to tweet literally saying, wow, the Red Dagger Club is a shithole. Absolutely 0 out of 10. Fuck's sake. What kind of wasted space would be found there? Send.
Roll me manipulation plus expression plus your fame.
Holy shit, he's an influence.
Actually, you know what? No. Just to kind of pile my bonuses. He's not going to type that. He's going to send it as a video to get my weird goth punk trash fashion. Because my people approve of this.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to give you dice or take away all of your dice and just make it a dramatic failure. But you know, I got a Wooloo today, so we'll say you get +3 dice.
Yeah.
Everybody that doesn't die in the scene.
So that easily it works, bribing our bestie.
You know what? I'm going to spend a willpower on this because I want to get it. I want to see if I can get a dramatic success. Yep, dramatic success.
Okay, well, I guess that place is going out of business.
Glad you're using your powers for evil.
Yeah. Well, that goes viral within minutes.
Marcus just looks at Baneforth in flabbergasted. Wait, did you just do a vlog or something like that?
Kinda. Needless to say, it's trending. Bishop, it will trend under the phrase "daggers for the dagger."
Okay.
And the sour expression slowly but surely disappears as it is, as it is replaced with thoughtfulness.
Nikolai will walk in at this point, blink twice at seeing the Archon in goth trash clothes, then immediately walk the other way.
Really expensive goth trash clothes, I'll have you know. But yes,
Right, Nikolai?
they are ripped in just the right way to be fashionable.
Anyways, Archon, how is business?
Actually, relatively slow, thankfully. Nothing appears to have happened much since there was that rather unfortunate... Oh, yeah. I was led to understand that you might have some information as it pertains to the rather unfortunate incident with the Primogen's childer.
Marcus looks straight to Julian.
Was anyone ever able to follow them?
No.
Mm-hmm.
You mean those bodies?
Bodies?
Talking about what happened at the concert, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do that thing where we back it up. So I was asking about. Apparently, you guys pursued some individuals. I'm wondering what happened to them.
Then yes, those bodies. They're basically on ice right now. I'm waiting for the prince to take them, and so he can do what he wants with it.
Oh, nice.
Huh. All right. Wait. Hang on. That's an interesting choice of phrase. I tell you what. He appears to contemplate for a few moments before he shrugs, and he says, "Thank you on behalf of the princedom. I would be grateful if you would turn over the bodies."
We did acquire them at great personal risk, just so that it was said.
I will have it noted in my report. If you have bodies, of course, I'm a reasonable man. These individuals did some truly interesting things. Well, rather, actually, okay. Let's do a quick rewind and restate. So, can you please explain to me what happened after you guys left the theater?
Julian will look over to Irons and simply say, "You want me to tell it or you?"
I'll tell it. Okay, so the two of us had noticed three figures in the rafters. Mr. Goodman pursued them on top. I pursued them down on the ground level. We had to run after them quite a while. One of the three clicked celerity and sped past me faster than I could react, sadly. But as Mr. Goodman was coming up, I was able to interpose myself between the two others. There was something really off with their eyes. Nothing yellow or owlish, but something I'd never seen before. I'm no expert on that, but I thought it was worth mentioning. So anyway, one kindred who was a very tall lady popped claws. Another fellow made himself very tough, and a rather brutal combat ensued. Finally, we managed to ash one. The desiccated body is still on ice, and torpor the lady, and she's also under our guard for the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, the lady is probably Gangrel, I would guess, from the claws she popped. The other fellow, I would guess Daver, but I could be wrong.
All right. So this makes things a little bit more interesting. All right. Obviously, a keeper has lost her position because of this debacle. Also, you guys have to make a roll. I don't know if anyone saw that.
Okay.
Anyone with Auspex, roll Auspex plus blood potency.
All right.
It's just one person, to be fair.
Yep. Sorry.
But he says, all right, so, and you say that you did this at great personal cost, yeah?
I was almost torpored. These things were, or these particular pile of kindred were in a weird state, like Mr. Iron said. They were like they were in frenzy, but they were oddly serene.
Composed.
Not even something like Ride the Wave or the assistance of a coil. It was more like their beast possessed them, but they were still in the driver's seat.
Could that be those drugs they people keep talking about?
What was also very weird was, especially the fellow who was badly wailing on Mr. Goodman there. I was seeing bones poking out of the legs and other stuff, but there was also some sort of red energy. I'm trying my best to describe it, but it seemed to be keeping the body together, although by all laws of physics, that person shouldn't have been able to stand anymore, let alone still move with a halfway hollowed out chest cavity.
Resiliency can make a body keep going, but eventually, like Iron said, physics comes into play.
Oh dear, Joshua has encountered that, and his brain now immediately ticks to infinite sadness. I think we should probably let Bishop give his ruling on the dice roll before we continue, in case we're being brutally overheard.
Nothing occurs.
All right.
Okay.
Real quick, before we go on though, from what Marcus and Goodman are describing, has Nikolai ever heard of such a phenomenon?
Nope.
All right.
This could be several things, but the explanation.
I was going to say, Bishop,
yeah,
when I brutally murdered someone in a forest, that sounds doughy and familiar. Brutal forest murder. Joshua nods. He says, okay, cool. So obviously this is going to go forward, and I'll make an official report. Is there anything in particular you feel as though the domain should grant either you, Mr. Goodman, or you, Mr. Irons, for your services? Or anything you would like me to request on your behalf when it comes to the writing of my report?
Goodman kind of raises his eyebrows a bit, kind of in thought, and then he responds, if there's some ground that isn't as important to somebody, I can either use some more vessels to feed from or a better place to hunt. I would appreciate that the most.
Neat.
A small corner of domain would be welcome. Whatever is free.
Aye. Okay. So you have both of these. Well, you have at least one of these individuals torped, right?
Yeah.
One in torpor, one in final death, but we still have the corpse.
All right. Cool. Hey Izzy, you like? Do you have your medical bag in the car? You generally kind of carry it with you.
Yeah, I have it. Why? What are you
Right.
gonna do? Are you gonna do something weird?
Nah, I want you to have a like. If there was some kind of body fact weirdness, I want you to have a look over these guys.
Didn't you give over both bodies there, Marcus and Marcus?
No,
No.
we were talking about it, and because the previous keeper was somewhat threatening us to give it away, and Iron said until he talked to me, we won't come to decision, and we sent out a decision that until the prince gets first dibs, because he is the prince, nobody gets his body.
I will double check the scene, but I'm pretty sure that was not what was said.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure. If you
Okay, so
didn't
hang
make a
on.
deal in that, because
I was-
time was an imperative in that scene, and you were pressured to make a decision there. So I will double check that scene, but I'm pretty sure that is not how that scene happened.
Doogie.
So, for the purposes of poor old Joshua right now, because he's doing a thing, do they have a corpse to give him, or don't they?
I am not sure they do. That is why I need to go check that scene. Which I'm
Okay,
doing
should we put a pause for a couple of minutes then? Because like, I was literally going to say, let's just jump in the car and go look at the dead body, kids.
now. 1 sec. Hey, what a way to brighten up the evening, huh?
Sometimes you just
You are
want to look at
dressed for
corpses, Bishop.
You are dressed for it.
I am, you know.
Oh god, who hosted that scene?
Marcus hosted it.
Okay, what's your channel name, Jason?
Thalcus. And it should also be in scene archives.
Gotcha.
Okay, that makes things actually a whole lot easier.
Yeah, I tend to try and always put them straight away in there.
You're better than me at that.
Yeah, because me and because we were under that assumption is that me and Irons had a scene, and it's in the Screen Archive. So the bodies.
Do you like refund adjustments and the music I play? If you do, send the money to my friend Ralph, and he'll mail you a tape.
Yeah.
I have encyclopedic knowledge of all Simpsons episodes, okay?
Wow. That's the thing I didn't know about you.
That is my only superpower, Terry.
That's really kind of sad.
Shut up.
It's a bad time to tell you I don't like The Simpsons.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I've honestly never seen it.
I'm breaking up with you right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's the deal breaker.
That is the deal breaker.
It's fine, I'll die on that hill.
All right, then you're gonna die single. Haha. I can't actually be that much of a dick.
Can you though?
I mean, I probably could, but I'm choosing not to.
No, it's not that I actually don't I just haven't really watched it that much. Like I watched a couple episodes here and there, but I never really watched it growing up.
To be fair, I'm just waiting to see if Bishop is going to give me some corpses or not. God damn it.
So
yeah,
the
try
whole
listening to see it's difficult when you're all talking over me. I'm talking over the scene.
Why don't you just mute us?
I can't. I don't think I can.
Not on this service, no.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yep, it is. I'm almost there, don't worry.
Because oh damn it, if they did give it away, I have to go and shout at that scary Ventru lady.
Why?
Oh,
Why do you want these dead bodies so badly?
because it's part of my job.
Yeah, but if they already did it, though.
It's
To be
also
fair,
because it's all, huh?
To be fair, it's part of his job.
Well, yeah, but if they already gave them away, then, like, whatever.
It's all, well, no, there are a couple of reasons. It's also because he suspects the prince was involved in the attempted assassination, and so he wants to get good boy points by destroying the bodies and making it so they never get used.
Why are you working for this asshole?
Oaths were sworn. I feel nothing. Also, it's Vampire. It's a game about personal power.
Until the Strix start building a tent up your ass.
And we just lost the GM.
Oh no.
Oh. I will be the ST now.
God.
no,
That's right. I don't actually like this
He
system
said,
very
yeah,
much.
no, he said be right back, so he'll be back.
Oh, he's probably watching the video away from. By the way, if the host leaves this service, does it continue recording or does it stop?
It's still recording.
It says it's recording. Oh, I forgot
Yeah,
we were recording.
Yeah,
That's
but Discord would still
dear
record for a
viewers,
couple of minutes
yeah.
after you left. So does it still record or does it stop after
Yes.
a minute or two? Oh.
it still does. It still does.
But there's still
Dear
people
viewers,
active.
please, please hold with us while there is this undue intermission.
Nobody's watching this.
Oh, no.
Says you.
Unless it's
I don't
from
know.
the other players, I get a few views on the videos.
I was gonna say, yeah, my highest one for a YouTube video was for the last of what we call the Aishar scenes for Sales at Midnight, which got like 50 odd 60 views. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
People really wanted to watch that motherfucker burn.
Yeah, that's how I even got introduced to Elwad, because I found the scene on YouTube.
But yeah, so as far as I remember, the whole situation was the ex-keeper of Elysium came up, was trying to pressure my guy to first of all speak on Goodman's behalf. Mine went like, nope, I'm not speaking for him. And the second was sort of, you can give... So she was going like, you can give me the bodies and get yourself some really, really nice brownie points with the Circle of the Crone. You can't. I won't sacrifice you, but you'll not make yourself popular.
Oh, Bishop
Yeah.
has returned.
Okay, so gave an individual access to the bodies and allowed them to interrogate them. Oof. Okay. She, from what I made a quick dice roll. She has absolutely taken away for a few nights to extrapolate more information.
So then at this moment, she has investigated them, but do we still have ownership of the bodies?
I mean, do you have ownership of the bodies? She currently has the bodies.
Okay, so she has still been investigating them. Okay. Then if that is the case, then go back to that particular point, then say, yes, the previous keeper has the bodies.
Like the one whose child got killed or got hurt.
No, that's a primogen. Oh, you see Joshua grimace before he'll say, okay, kids. Mr. Goodman and Mr. Irons, thank you both. Your services will be noted. Izzy, I have to go make a phone call.
Okay, do you want me to come with you?
Nah, it's all good. Order me a drink, if you wouldn't mind. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
I can also smoke while I'm doing this, I guess.
Goodman looks at the doctor a little oddly when she says that statement. You need me to go with you.
I don't know what kind of weird shit he's doing.
Do you really think he needs your help with a phone call?
I don't know. Seen some weird phone calls.
So Bishop Joshua strolls outside and he lights a cigarette. He is then going to take out his phone and let me know when you have. Basically, he's going to make a phone call. I can either do it now and might have to leave the scene depending on what I'm told to do, or see what I'm told to do. Basically.
Okay. Who are you calling?
You know how I get burner numbers for the prince?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay.
Also, I love how you've been tinting all the pictures to turn over red. It just amuses the crap out of me, and I don't know how you do it, and it kind of bothers me.
Well, your burner number for the prince will not reach the prince this time. It will reach one of his servants, who will pass your statement along to him, and you will get instructions at a later date.
In that case, it might be easier to say he doesn't tell the servant anything. He just says if the prince could contact him urgently at his earliest convenience. And with that, yeah, he'll happily walk back inside after he has smoked a cigarette.
Okay. There is a guy standing right next to you.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Hey, buddy.
Did you have to do that?
It is both my job and my hobby.
What, being a voyeur and scaring the literal shit out of people?
Yeah. You kind of summed up my whole existence there, friend.
I mean, if that was my existence, I'm not even joking. I would light myself on fire before I walked out into the sun.
I mean, different.
You employ people whose existence that is.
I am not fucking Farthingdale.
I'll have you know I'm very good at voyeurism. I'm much better at it than your clownish friend.
I mean,
I don't really have a good word for him other than clownish, but that's just kind of sort of.
But
obvious.
Do you do children's parties?
Well, I could.
You shouldn't.
You really need to I'll say Farthingdale probably has that one on me.
Is there something in particular? Is there something in particular that you want?
Nah, I was just fucking around. Actually, that's not entirely true. I was. Oh, you have no idea who I am. You can actually roll intelligence plus politics to figure out who he is, but it's -5 dice. You have never seen this guy before in your life.
You know what? I'm not even going to make the roll. Continue with life.
Anybody else can try when he shows up in the.
Is he clearly a Nosferatu?
No, he doesn't give off. He doesn't look ugly or deformed. He doesn't give off a sort of aura of malice or fear. He seems like a guy in his early 30s with a cap on and a coat and jeans. He looks
So,
very
right,
generic.
what is it I
Very
can do for
forgettable,
you in that
actually, I
case?
guess. Yeah, he looks kind of forgettable, to be honest. He has the sort of appearance that would cause your eyes to just slide off him. It's just like, oh, it was a middle-aged dude in a jacket, that sort of appearance. He doesn't
He's
look
only 30.
particularly attractive or ugly. He just looks wholly generic.
So I was originally going to go for.
But nah, I was just spectating.
Did you get a good view?
Yeah. Got a front row seat.
Just because it's a thing. Do blood sympathies start perking when he comes nearby?
Nope.
Okay.
How many? Let's see. We got almost every clan present here, though. We got a Gangrel, a Macat, a Deva, a Ventru.
Yeah, the only one we don't have is an Nosferatu.
Yeah. And he certainly doesn't look like one. He doesn't seem to have any of the telltale signs, at least.
So I have Bloodhound. So does he give off any scent in particular?
He has no blood on him right now.
All right.
Goodman would notice the new face and say, "Wow, that was fast."
You do. He obviously is Kindred, if only just because he popped up right in front of Joshua, but also because he does have a predatory aura. So that much is obvious.
All right.
Slightly subdued. It's quite a quiet beast he seems to have.
You his messenger, or he's somebody else?
I'm not really here for anything in particular, no.
Forgive me.
But I've been advised to branch out, spread wings a little bit, make my face known, I guess.
All right. Well, it's good to meet you. But
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Goodman.
Yeah, I know you. You run. You run the business of the very same name, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going to.
Yeah, somebody's been listening.
I mean, I would assume you would have that intention, right?
You never know. My sister does a good job.
I mean, it's not really in us. It's particularly not really in the Gangrel or the Ventru to, rest at the bottom rung. So it's not really in our nature. It's Kindred in general, really.
Yeah, but how much is nurture, I wonder?
A fair bit.
Do you smoke?
Yeah, sure.
Here, and he offers him a lucky strike.
Thanks.
So, just saying, you seem to know these gentlemen. I've no doubt you know about me, but then again, most people do. Who are
got a good
you?
way to be known.
Clan and Covenant?
Kind of non sequiturs, really. I'm an Invictus. I'll leave you guessing on the former. I'm sure one of you can figure it out anyway.
The Prince has been showing up more of his, let's just say, allies of recent. For the longest time, some people thought he didn't even exist.
Some people thought who didn't exist.
I said he referred to the prince because he was gone for so long, if I remember correctly.
Nah, that was the sheriff.
Nah,
Rather, nobody's seen the sheriff ever, but everybody knows he exists. They leave plenty of evidence. I mean, didn't you see the staked Kindred outside of the Elysium? And they literally hung them there.
no, I need it more in the sense that, like we stated before, nobody's seen their face or seen his work directly. They've seen the aftermath. No different than knowing that the president of the company exists, but until you actually see them, they're not really real to you.
I mean, that's some awfully conspiratorial talk, and I wholeheartedly approve. Maybe the sheriff is just a name on a sheet of paper.
Oh, they're technically a title, so you're not wrong.
Same thing in this context. Of course, that's its whole. That's its own can of worms.
I wish you, if you're on that particular hunt, which I can't remember Anthony's character's name, is it Arthur?
Outside.
Is his name Outside? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I wish you the best of luck with that project Outside brought up.
It's not a project. It's a breach of the law. It's not like we're doing homework.
Wait a minute. Attempt to understand the law.
Well, is someone connecting dots? What's going on?
Hey Bishop, how many of the new Archons have I met?
Not actually that many.
You wouldn't happen to be one of the new Archons, would you?
Even if I was, I wouldn't be able to say.
That's not true.
If that's the case, how the
Oh, if
hell?
that's the case, then yeah, I'm definitely an Archon. Give me some respect, asshole. He smells underneath.
Bishop, this isn't an Elysium, is it?
No, I'm just messing with you.
No, this is just a bar in the middle of Ordo territory.
I was going to say I might backhand him. Urge to backhand is rising.
Meanwhile, Nikolai's just on a stool watching all of this.
Needless to say, I give a good Archon all my respect. And I expect all y'all to do the same.
I saluted the fellow. I think that should be respect enough.
Suppose that depends on how you define respect. If that's your only obligation to the man, I might be asking some questions, but I don't want to imply that you ain't loyal to the crown, so...
Well, where I come from, a salute means a lot.
That's very true.
So, I understand it was a lot broken, but as far as Outside told me, he made it seem like it was more of a volunteer kind of thing. I protested the fact that, not saying that this is important, but if I'm going to do a job, let alone that's probably going to risk my very existence, I would like to get some compensation. As the saying goes, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Well, I'm sure... And for one, I definitely agree. But I'm sure there's a healthy reward in it for you if you were to assist in the apprehending of this the perpetrator of this crime.
But I would like solidified terms.
Of course,
What crime is? Sorry, what crime is it that you're talking about?
Zed tilts. His body language tenses a little bit. An elder of our covenant was assassinated within their own home, within their domain.
Member of Clan Nosferatu, if I remember correctly.
I had heard the basics of this. From what I'm led to understand, from what I've been led to understand, the Invictus have been wanting to deal with this very much in-house.
As far as outside made it seem, he made it a hail throughout the whole city.
Aye.
It's true. The issue's gone public.
Well, I don't know about public, but I got a request.
Well, like, if you guys know
answered
about it, it's gone fucking public, let's be honest.
Fair enough. Well, it's not a secret, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Look, we're... You know, we exist at the bottom rung, you know? We're not exactly privy to a lot of private information unless it's already been put out into the cacophony.
Which I understand that. Unless you really need to know, I don't. At least for me, unless I really need to know, I don't really care to know about it. It complicates my work ethic.
Yeah, I'd be careful the language you use though about trying to acquire some sort of prestation for your assistance. After all, this is a very serious incident.
Oh, I totally agree. But he looks over to Irons and to Nikolai, and even to the doctor, and says, "But for every person I've ever worked with, they do get something in return, and I make sure to let them know that ahead of time. I would really hate that we do all this work, and like you said, we're on the bottom rung, and we get ignored."
Well, then I'd have to ask you the question: do you think the prince would ignore you if you apprehended the perpetrator of this crime?
No.
Also, I like to think of myself as very much not on the bottom rung, but thank you for the analogy.
You are not. I mean, the rest of us. But you're definitely not.
No, but let's just say.
But yes, Mr. Goodman, I am somewhat disconcerted. Yes, you did a fine service to the princedom when you apprehend. Actually, he's going to actually bow his head for a moment. He says, "Madam Harpy, can you please join us over here for a moment?" Because the Harpy is my covenant's Harpy is in the room.
Yes, she has been dallying around, speaking with various kindreds. You call her over, she kind of, her head sharply turns to you with that the perpetual sly smug smirk she always has on her face. She'll hop, skip, and jump over to you.
Do Harpies deal with the payments of boons and favors in this setting, or do they not?
Does it really formally exist unless it's like a specific city? So kinda, not really. They do have a kind of get to see who's it. Well, they have power over who's seen in a good light or not, because that's their power as a harpy. They wouldn't be a harpy if they didn't have that sort of leverage over society. So In theory, they could ruin somebody for not paying their dues.
But I'm concerned, Mr. Says, you did the city a reasonably good turn. You helped to apprehend someone who had done severe bodily harm to the child of a primogen, but yet your first concern was for payment. And now, when we're dealing with a murdered kindred, your immediate thought is, how do I
Oh, I'm glad you called me over for this. Speak to Julian. Hello.
So,
Long time no see.
yeah.
I remember the last time we spoke.
Well, we don't typically go looking for each other, Harpy.
You don't go looking for me. I am very fond of our conversations.
There is a small smirk on his face. When I followed those assailants, my first thought was not payment. My first response was to make sure they were captured so they can be interrogated. I said,
Because
and
they violated Elysium, and that is something that is important to all of us.
Oh, you chased after the whoever dropped her.
Scalfin.
Yeah, that.
Oh, no, you misunderstand me. When I started to speak to you on the matter, one of the first things that came into your heads, or into your head, from Mr. Irons was more altruistic, was the concept of payment. And now when we're dealing with a murdered elder of the Invictus, the Prince's Covenant, your immediate first thoughts are, how can I personally benefit?
And he nods, and he says, it was a volunteer. The statement was given to me not as a city mandate, but volunteering. And my response, as I told outside, is I'm all up for helping the community. This person is murdered, and that is a crime against all kindred. But I have to say, will they treat us with the same sense of urgency would have happened to us?
Probably Elysium would have been broken violently.
So I don't say this. I don't say this to be a selfless miser. I say this that if I'm going to do a job, I'd like to make sure I get some type of compensation. I'm
It
not
wasn't a
saying
job, it was an emergency situation.
I believe we're talking about something completely different, Madam Harpy, right now. We're referring to the elder that was brutally murdered. Is that correct? And how is believed that us Ordos should be investigating without any guaranteed compensation.
I didn't know the Ordigical had been reduced to mercenaries.
we're never not.
I'd like to think that I'm not.
Our argument.
Sorry.
I said something very damning about your own covenant. I'd watch what you say.
It's not exactly. The city hardly needs bounty hunters. It's got plenty of Archons and other kindred. Such as the Scourges.
Something that worries me, though, is if somebody managed to dispatch an elder in that fashion, it must have been a pretty strong entity, at the very least.
Or some hella good planning.
Or numerous or coordinated.
Or just hella lucky.
Nosferatu, though. Their clan discipline is absolutely legendary once they get that old. Most people don't even want to think about actually interacting with them in a violent way.
This is true.
And yet here we are, with a dusted Nosferatu elder. So clearly, somebody did.
I can promise you this, Arcot and Harpy. If I see or hear anything, I'll make sure to let you know. I'm not gonna be apathetic to the plight and not do anything.
Well, aren't you just a model citizen?
I'm not a model citizen, just a citizen. And I would like to say, with my other pursuits, if you've been watching me, I am relatively out for the benefit of others.
Joshua stops for a moment. His head cocks to the side, and he says, "With all due respect, considering what I've seen, I 100% doubt that."
He helped me out when I was in a rough spot. Didn't make
Yeah,
me
and
pay an arm or a leg for it.
Yeah, and he let an old man have his head taken off because he wouldn't actually fight for what he believed in.
I tried. Unfortunately, it wasn't.
No, no, you didn't. You.
That's a matter of perspective. I'm not as passionate as you are.
Well, it worked, clearly. The Archon's passion pulled through for him in the end. He received the right to embrace. Uplift the revenants that had, well, up until that point, lived a miserable half existence. You might have perhaps done the same. Had you argued the point with the same degree of passion?
Possibly.
Keep in mind, there is a colleague of yours here who also received that very same right.
What?
Looks at Isabella. And
She's
that
just
one,
drinking and watching y'all.
that one was not meant to live at all. And yet,
Still on the fence about whether or not it was a good idea.
well,
It was
not that I can say anything, but I hear that's quite common between Sires and their childer.
one of my child is in the circle of the crone. How proud do you think I am?
I don't need to respond to that.
No.
I pray, and I believe so. That man is truly at peace now. And as you did, which I much appreciate, Mr. Baneforth, you allowed him to be next to his wife in death.
I believe that the way a man dies is a great determinator on how he lives. And I believe, and I know some of you will not believe this statement, however, two of us here will. I believe he went to meet his maker, perhaps not with a clean conscience, but with a truly repentant heart.
I agree.
Marcus just nods silently.
You said that you were going to attend one of our services, Mr. Irons. Have you ever gotten the chance to?
Sadly not. Not yet, anyway.
You absolutely should. In fact, I believe it next Mass, I hear the Archbishop himself will be making an appearance.
Sounds like the event to be.
That causes Joshua to raise an eyebrow.
Hey, I might show up to
Everybody's
that.
like, "Oh, that sounds great," and Joshua's like, "Oh shit, what's he gonna do now?"
Now the problem is I've met him.
Well, for her part, you do notice the harpy does just eye you when she says that. She has that perfectly clean smile on her face, but she does give you that pointed look where it's like, please be there and stop this clusterfuck.
Yeah. Infinite sadness.
Isabella, did you bring your surgical tools to a party?
Was I not supposed to?
Oh, they're not sterile anymore.
Well, we're not in a fetish club, so no.
I mean, look how he's dressed. We had other stops to make tonight.
That's fair. She she looks Joshua up and down, and
All he will
immediately
do is point to the door and say, "Her outfit's in the car."
Oh dear. I have to admit, I'm curious. What possessed you to? She kind of gestures towards your hands, going up and down towards you. Do this in general.
I can. Also, ever since I did my little show, it's what people are expecting of me, I guess.
Well, I know you're popular, but I didn't think you'd be that popular with that sort of crowd.
Who do you think watches magic shows?
Depends on the channel, I suppose. I never really watched magic shows, so you tell me. But I'm sure those invested in the real thing don't think would be so interested.
Actually, really weird question, Bishop. Since we're in the same covenant, she's a harpy, so I assume she geared more towards this. How is she any kind of Theban sorceress of note?
You've never seen her perform it. Granted, a lot of Sanctified are never really seen performing it. So no, she's not one of note. You're uncertain if she knows it at all. She might, but she's probably not particularly advanced if she does. Otherwise, she probably would be more public in her displays. She would have she would have a place among sanctified ceremonies, at least a more prominent place in them.
By the way, what kind of drink did Izzy get Joshua? Out of curiosity, I want to see how well she knows him.
Oh man.
She got him a 7-Up.
It's out of character funny because Bishop 7-Up is poison to me in real life.
Yep.
My first thought was rum and coke because that's what I drink. My second thought was cheap beer just to annoy you. My third thought was something really gay like a Cosmo.
Sex on the
Get
beach.
him a Cosmo. Get him
Yeah.
a Cosmo.
On the beach.
immediately.
Yeah, that's probably the one she went with.
Sex on the beach.
A screwdriver.
I mean, it does nothing.
Screwdriver?
Orange juice and vodka.
I know what it is. I'm just saying, why it depends on what
Isn't there a third ingredient that you can add? It's like some kind of weird flavoring, like Goretto or something like that.
I mean, you can add anything, but a screwdriver is just vodka and orange juice.
Yeah.
I don't
Again,
know,
it does nothing for you, though.
I mean, he still enjoys drinking it.
Still taste it.
I know.
It should be noted, Guy, who is not actually given his name at all.
I'm gonna call him Guy.
Yeah, I think he did actually call himself Guy. To be fair, he's like looking slightly above your heads. It's getting to the point where it's becoming noticeable.
Where he's looking?
He started he was just kind of looking around casually before. Looked like he was sort of half out of it. What's made it noticeable is that he's now kind of stopped, and his eyes have narrowed a little bit.
I'm going to look up to where he's looking and say, see something interesting.
That's weird. That's a troll I'll have to catch up on later.
What? You want to share with the rest?
Nah, it wouldn't be appropriate to share with the crowd. It's something I believe the individual in question would prefer to keep to themselves, or rather, I imagine where it leads to is something they'd very much prefer to be on the down low.
Ominous.
Oh, it's not really relevant to any of you unless you guys decide to tie yourselves to it. You are tangentially linked.
Uh-oh. I don't like
Oh, Bishop, should I start making rolls of
I don't like
infinite
this story at
sadness?
all.
As the person who does lots of magic and understands some of the words he just said.
Nah, it's his description. The way he's talking about it is really vague. He hasn't really said anything about what he's talking about. So,
Is he looking over anyone's head in particular?
I
he's looking
personally,
over yours when he frowned.
is he assumes that anything sketchy or terrifying going on is going to kill her.
I mean, that's not in any way incorrect.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I'll do this. I'll give a small. Nikolai will give a small frown. And can he use Auspex here?
Yeah, sure.
And the question is, what's a threat to me?
So many things.
I know, but what's the biggest threat?
Okay.
Maybe it'll reveal something. That is, I believe, intelligence, empathy, right?
Wits plus empathy plus Auspex is Auspex 1. So first use for the scene is 3.
Yeah, wits plus empathy plus. So that's 4 successes.
Okay.
Sorry, what are we rolling for? I just came back.
It's just Nikolai's just using Auspex. It's fine.
Neat.
Your beast looks around. You can sort of feel the haze of its vision.
Yep.
But other than a lingering sense of threat emanating from the good Archon, and the behatted gentleman, it doesn't really come up with too much. It feels your beast feels a sense of slight danger from those two.
All right.
Perhaps it seems to look at the gentleman with the cap with much more suspicion. You feel or rather you see as if he is split into a dozen different pieces covered in smoke, giving quite literal making the term smoke and mirrors quite literal and visceral.
Interesting.
So it seems to suspect them both, and the gentleman in particular, but
well, suspecting an Archon of danger is nothing new for Nikolai, so
it is Interesting. The vision, when you look at it, the shattered shards of the mirror are all held together by what appear to be spiders' webs.
Oh, I'm going to just raise my eyebrow at that, because out of character, that definitely makes me interested. See a connection there, is all I'm going to say.
Is this because I've got a demon who lives in my house?
If a demon lives there? Oh shit! I forgot about the demon that lives in our house.
Are you saying that
Yeah.
out loud?
No.
I'm pretty sure if Alankar said that out loud, they'd be executed.
If he had said it out loud,
It's actually quite funny because from what I understand, what the Lankea consider to be demons are not what Demon the Fallen are. And vice versa.
No, they're not the.
Yeah.
What are they actually called? Oh, yeah, the Fallen, actually, I think is actually what they're called.
that guy's gonna start paying rent.
Demon the Descent.
Yeah, I think they're actually called
Yeah, but I
the
mean,
Fallen. They undergo the
are
fall.
not what the Lankea consider to be demons, are they?
No, well, they can and they can't be. It's that it's not always entirely clear. A sanctified who saw one certainly wouldn't necessarily recognize it unless it embodied the more traditional concept of a demon or an angel. But they can sometimes they appear like bizarre Frankenstein monsters that appear entirely disconnected from any sort of religious theology. Yeah. No, it's just just something weird I don't normally see. But it's nothing to well, it's got something to do with he kind of looks between you all.
Oh, I will take your word that is not important.
I will not.
It's important to one of you.
Ooh, which one? Is it me?
Okay, let me rephrase. It's important to some of you.
Is it still me?
I mean, you're clearly looking for yes, so sure, why not?
Not necessarily. If it's not me, then I'm going to stop paying attention. That's actually not true. I'm going to not believe
Izzy,
you.
we get it. You are a pretty princess. Continue with existence.
Hey, Pot.
You-
This is Kettle. Guess what?
There is only one difference. I really am a pretty princess.
Forgive me, Archon, but your cohort is correct. I cannot lie.
Oh,
He like places his hand on his chest, and, like gestures towards you apologetically when he says it.
to somewhat change the tension of this moment. Once I get some few things under control, as I told, I believe Miss Rose, I'll be working on some particular supplements for the city to take.
Supplements?
Why?
Well, if they want it, I'm not going to force it down anybody's throat.
You're trying to deal with this drug issue, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to make it a medical issue instead of a criminal one.
Legalize it.
Yeah. I mean, so, rehab
Not
is real.
necessarily, but the help with recovery.
Looks confused. What drug issue?
Well, you see, Jimmy, when a crack pipe and his mama love each other very much.
There has been a drug.
Marcus
circulating.
looks away at the mention of crack pipe.
Oh my god, let the guy tell the story.
Yes, please.
There's been a drug circling through the city that is unfortunately Kindred made that can give a effect similar to that of ecstasy. On mortals, it's very, very addictive. And on vampires, it's addictive. Not only is this drug very addictive, it can allow the person who made the drug using their vitae have a and more intense blood sympathy to whoever has injected it.
Interesting.
Do you think that's what caused the guy
hang
that
on.
was weird?
I'm so tempted to basically say to Mr. Goodman at some point, without me knowing, slip some of it in my drink so they'll suffer a level of ag damage because it amuses me.
That's weird.
Hmm?
Oh no, Guy speaks. That's odd. I mean, I'd never been making the rounds, and it was obviously, at least from what I've been hearing, not entirely natural.
I tell you what, Mr. Goodman, I'll make you a deal.
I'm listening.
You agree to come to our services for a year, and I'll help, and I will get you the name of the individual who made the drug.
Well, I'm assuming Ellicat will tell me. We've been investigating this together. Just haven't spoken to her in a minute.
Oh, does she know who it is?
That's not how that right works. I fucked up that right the past 3 times.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't
Wait, hang on. How does it work then, Bishop?
I give you a vision and you roll for details on the vision. But I shouldn't have been giving straight names and blood trails.
Oh, we have had infinite sadness 3 times.
That was MB, as the kids say. But yeah, no. I gotten that wrong. It's my bad. But hey, you benefited from my ignorance. You know, you should be grateful.
The important part is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. Does Isabella feel like she's made many friends?
No.
Yes.
We should talk. I should.
Marcus is okay.
Yeah. I should talk to her soon. See if she has any reports. I've been focused on so many other things. She said she was going to investigate a particular police officer that might be connected to it. And to be honest, Mr. Bainforth, and I forgot the Harpy's name, but he'll continue nonetheless. I'm not much for religion. I have a minor sense of spirituality, a sense of there's bigger things than us, but religion didn't give me much comfort when I was on the streets.
Also,
see.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask. That's fine. Go ahead. It's not important.
No. By all means, you continue.
I was just gonna ask. He like snaps his fingers and points at Marcus. Why are you? How have you come to know so many fucked up and dangerous people?
Because I've got rotten luck.
London?
I mean, no. I mean, yeah, we're all fucked up and dangerous. Cry me a fucking river. But you, good sir, have managed to get yourself involved with at least half a dozen of the most dangerous monsters in the city.
He doesn't know when.
Why you decided that was a good course. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fucking love an adventure like that, but I don't. That's why I spectate. But I like watching. Why? Why would you do that to yourself?
Raises his hand slowly, because he likes to. He never seems to understand when to stop talking.
You can't fucking talk.
I know.
You come from one. I mean,
Out-
you both come from two of the. You both come from some of those really dangerous kindred. but-
out of character, I was called and I didn't hear the last part. So he was talking about how come my guy has bumped into apparently some of the most fucked up kindred in the city.
Yeah,
Is
he's
that
asking
what he
you
said?
why you decided to do that, which of course you don't necessarily have a good answer for.
I wasn't even aware of that, so thank you for the extra info. Because I'm a clueless fucking fledgling who somehow manages to survive. I think that is probably the most honest answer I can give.
If it helps, I really need to get my child a t-shirt that just says "Clueless fucking fledgling."
I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
She is pretty cute.
Yeah, my one's actually functional, unlike yours.
You know what? You don't have to be mean.
Sires are not everything they're cracked up to be.
Once again,
Well-
I have a child at the Circle of the Crone. Imagine how proud I am.
I'm sure that gets awkward at family dinners.
Well, no, yours is. Ooh. Yeah.
What's that supposed to mean?
How to put this? You okay. How much? Not you, but the rest of you here. How much do you actually know about Iron Covenant and the sort of research some of them get up to in their spare time?
That depends.
I don't know. I guess we have a sort of don't ask, don't tell policy.
Okay.
Maybe.
You ever hear about the berserkers?
Have we?
You
Can I
can't
roll to see?
Intelligence. Marcus can't roll because he's too young, but Nikolai, Isabella, and Julian can all roll.
I was going to
minus
say,
3 dice.
I have an idea what they are, and I think I spent a lot of my time killing them.
It's
all the
intelligence plus wit. You said.
yeah, as it was another term for them back in the nights. Back in the night, they were all called Frankensteins.
So you said intelligence plus wits.
No, intelligence plus occult.
Oh, occult.
Oh, in
Yeah,
that case, let
Kindred-
me just roll one more dice.
Did you say -3? The other thing you said?
minus 3, yeah, because it's fairly obscure.
I've got 3 successes.
I take it Joshua's not rolling this.
No, he actually no. You can roll this actually, because this is public knowledge. After all, it's an Invictus. He's talking about this. It's just an obscure kind of bit of trivia.
Does my specialty of things that go bump in the night apply?
This is specifically Kindred related, so I'd need Kindred or Kindred history. I assume that things that go bump in the night apply to other supernaturals.
Oh shit, there were too many dice there. You said -3. My bad.
I still think you succeed. If you take 3 dice off that, you got an 8 on your second dice, so I don't.
Yeah,
mind.
so if we go with that system, yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so Nikolai got 1 success, Maro and Julian got none. Okay, so both Nikolai and Joshua have heard of them before. Joshua, you've heard of them largely through the words you've had between the various archons and the sheriff of East London. In part because, well, she was around for it and had face such things directly. It's sort of an open secret, if you will. There's never been any direct evidence, and there have never been any political repercussions for it. But back during the war between the Carthians and the Invictus, the Ordo were infamously a third party. That doesn't mean they didn't involve themselves and is very heavily suspected that the Ordo used the conflict as a means to continue their research on the nature of the Kindred condition, in particular the nature of the embrace and the question of the beast and blood potency at the moment of embrace. There's not really an easy way to sum it up. To put it simply, it's very heavily suspected that Ordo were had struck deals to create empowered kindred for both sides.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds like what I would do.
Yeah.
How they would have gone about this is a complete mystery. Given that obviously all kindred generally start at a fairly low blood potency, and even then there's a sort of hard cap as to how thick a kindred's blood can be at the moment of embrace, and obviously their disciplines aren't developed, so their beast isn't developed. But these Frankensteins, these berserkers, were known to be incredibly dangerous fledglings and notoriously unstable.
I'm curious why you bring...
All of them were known to become whites and were put down at the end of the war, to your knowledge.
I'm curious, why is it that you're bringing up ancient history?
Well, I mean, it was only 20 years ago.
What's been dead for 20 years is still dust.
Clearly not.
How
I mean... I'm sort of looking at one right now.
What?
Huh?
What?
Where? Marcus looks around.
Yeah, I don't know how you're... I'll be honest, I've kind of been pleasantly amazed this entire time as to how you are still talking to me and haven't descended into some sort of psychotic blood rage and murdered us all.
Who's he talking to?
He's talking to a ghost.
Is he talking to Joshua?
He's talking to Marcus.
Wait,
Oh.
what?
Marcus is taken aback. What do you mean my sire is an
Wait.
Invictus?
Wait, you're sure? Hang on, you're sure about this?
Look, I'm pretty good at sussing things out. Me and my little pal in here. Yeah, no, all the same bells are ringing here. I don't know what the fuck your side did to you, but he did something.
He enjoyed keeping me in a room caged like some wild animal, but but I just thought that was,
Well-
his fucking derangement or something.
I am not fucking surprised.
But how is that even possible? My sire is Invictus. I mean, sorry to say that, but he's so stereotypical that it's almost painful.
That's a great
Are
cover.
you sure?
Actually,
Just because someone is something now doesn't mean they always were.
And keep in mind, this is the guy who apparently kept you in a fucking cage, and you're taking him at his word? I mean, I'll be honest, that's kind of funny.
Okay, Marcus looks worried, sort of like, I don't know what to do, kind of worried.
Look, I
Okay. So what? I'm not even a real kindred now. or
Oh
what?
no, you're the realest of kindred here. You're more real than any motherfucker here. That's the problem.
It's a weird statement. What's going
No,
on?
I
Can we stop playing games?
I'm not
I kind
trying
of
to play
understand what
games.
he
I'm
means.
just trying to say this in a way that
He
you
means
can
that-
understand, because I am. You have to understand. I do not. Look. Actually, one of us here can relate. He points at Nikolai. He and I, we do not process information in the same way that you do.
Fair.
When we ask questions of people, we know things. And the way we receive that insight is very disparate, often vague and cryptic. And it does not come in clean statements or sentences or words. And pulls upon the deeper parts of our subconscious and our collective experience. Things that we can understand but can't necessarily express to somebody else lest they go, "What the fuck, you crazy person?" Which obviously is already happening anyway, so clearly I'm not doing a very good job.
So if I
My
am
point
what
is
you...
that I've been I know things, and when I look at you, I know that you're a berserker and you shouldn't exist because you all died.
You know what? Then if you're saying that, then talk to Jonathan, because he's been acting weird to Marcus ever since he saw him.
Yeah, and the guy's not even of my clan.
Oh, fuck. Look, I don't go anywhere near fucking Jonathan, okay?
All right, I'm going to ask a question, and I would like an honest and succinct answer. Based on what you have just said, and now I say this, putting on my robe and my mantle of office here, does Mr. Marcus Irons represent a threat to the domain?
Well, that's the thing. I would expect him to be so, but clearly he's not.
Thank you.
This is why I'm confused. Because all the same signs that I am receiving call me back to 20 years ago. And, well, I mean, how old are you?
Okay. In Kindred years, I haven't even seen my first full winter yet.
Oh, shit, are they making new ones?
I'm like 9.5 months old, at least Kindred age.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you're sure you're not mistaken. There are times where I've heard Auspix does fail a kindred.
I mean, it's... Ha! You think I'm using the site. That's cute. Nah, that's not... No. All, this all lines up. There's no way I could mistake this for anything else.
Well,
This is... I don't... Who the fuck is your sire?
Sir Alsop. At least assuming that he didn't make everything up or completely scrambled my mind, which, come to think of it now, is a very possibility since he's an old
It's
adventurer. Ugh.
it's likely because I've never heard of a kindred of that name in the city, and I've been here for decades.
He's not of the Greater London area. He's a few miles outside. As far as I know, nobody. He just claims dominion over a small place, and does. That's the little I was able to find out, and I was able to extricate myself from there. For understandable reasons, I would like to add.
Well, all of that sounds suspicious as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, considering the information that this individual possessed about certain topics, all of a sudden he has jumped right up on the top of my shit list.
Marcus, whenever
Brilliant.
Jonathan gets noted, you get this sort of weird headache. You feel compelled to go to the west side of Wandsworth. Gave a dominated condition.
Okay. Gotcha.
And you feel compelled to take Isabella with you.
Is my character aware of that? If he would try to speak on the subject, would anything happen?
No, sort of like when you say something's like, it's like when someone mentions something, you're like, oh yeah, I need to do that. It's that sort of feeling. But kind of.
Does it seem
kind of
to
like
come out of the blue?
Yeah, like again, you're like, oh yeah, I need to do that. Like it's something you forgot, but suddenly you've remembered to do. You don't need to act on it right now, but it is something Marcus will need to act on later or soon. And again, for some reason, he feels compelled to take Isabella. And funnily enough, when you think that, Guy begins looking between Isabella and Marcus, and just gets all shifty-eyed and.
Wait, what?
I don't know how to word this, but I've got this weird compulsion now to go to the place that the storyteller mentioned, and my memory has just given up the ghost. Sorry.
West side of Wandsworth. It's not really a compulsion. It's more like I mean, it is a compulsion, but it's more like in Marcus's eyes, it's like something he's just remembered. It's not like he's aware he's actively been dominated.
Okay. Then he'll just look confused.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Can't even just be cursed to be an. Oh, might be. Oh, that asshole.
Man, you're like a fucking hedge mage's shit, you are, aren't you? Christ. He's just like looking between all of you, and like he suddenly looks quite disconcerted and overwhelmed. More overwhelmed than anything else. Like his head kind of like pulls back, and he's like, Jesus. You're a tangled fucking mess.
Oh, you're telling me. Oh.
Well, right, that this was much more than I'd bargained for this evening, but it's definitely been a conversation.
Punished.
I mean, I guess it's something you did, but it's more of the stuff that's happened to you. Really, you're just reacting, which isn't a healthy thing to do. It's not a healthy state
I hate
of
being born, and at that point, I wouldn't say that the beast is rampant, but Marcus is clearly upset.
This probably or perhaps becomes more prominent, and people can feel his beast becoming more.
That's
frantic.
I know I wasn't a saint in my life, but crying out loud. If I ever get my hands on the fucker, he'll pay.
Give it a few years, you'll get there.
Puts his hand on his chin and elbow on the thing and go, damn. Marcus, I know I've said before, but you really lucked out with your sire, didn't ya?
Out of character, what does that expression mean?
It means your sire really got some bad luck when you with the sire you got.
He's
It's
being
really
sarcastic.
bad. Nikolai has this whole. He's trying to lighten the mood a teeny bit for you, and probably failing.
Marcus, in a surprisingly gentle gesture, puts his hand on yours. I hate it when you're right, but you're right.
So what does this
Anyway,
mean? Like, does this change anything?
Well,
it's something. Well, I mean, I'm guessing from the looks of things, it's something your friend didn't know before. Certainly begs a lot of questions as to what your sect is doing. I guess. I mean, they were the ones who made them, at least to my knowledge. At least that's the. That's the rumor.
So, like, I'm not like overly surprised that we're doing weird Frankenstein stuff, but like, why would he pretend to be an Invictus about it?
I mean, maybe he is an Invictus.
That's not even top.
Maybe he took the knowledge for himself. Maybe your covenant sold the knowledge. I mean, it's not like those things haven't happened in the past.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just making. I don't know. Like, that's not even top 5 most fucked up things I've heard about. We're witnessed, really.
You don't know you don't know how they did it. Yeah.
Wait.
I guess
everyone.
Give yourself some time to get into the nitty-gritty.
Everyone, I have an important question. Has, assuming what you're saying is right, and I am what you think I am, can a similar process be done with somebody who's already died? Like,
I don't know. I'm not on order. I just heard about this shit. And technically, it's not a thing. It's not spoken of. It didn't happen, but everybody knows it happened. And
I bet this your sire could have been one of Letcher's followers.
Could be. I mean, unless he's really good at hiding. And I mean, this Kindred exists. That name is an alias.
Of course it is. Yeah, that would make sense why he didn't just kill me. That makes so much sense.
I mean,
when I stumbled on him.
You're a I mean, there's a reason they call you Frankenstein. You were literally a science experiment.
Thank you. I feel so much better about myself.
There's worse things you could be.
Oh, she's not wrong. I've seen those things.
I was a science experiment for years. It's fine.
Marcus just looks at you in absolute horror.
I'm going to assume, considering my sire, that is a true statement.
Not really. You're a rebellious student.
Well, yeah, but before that...
Before that, you weren't an experiment. You were a toy.
I like experiment. It sounds like I have more autonomy.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like
I have a purpose.
Neither of these statements have autonomy.
At least I'm for the greater good this way.
Joshua takes a pack of cigarettes from his pocket, and he grabs one with his teeth before he pulls it out of the box. He doesn't light it in here because there's still a smoking ban, but he says, right, okay. Mr. Irons,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to.
I'll be coming quietly.
Okay, that makes my life a whole lot easier.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Do we really want to involve the prince in this bullshit?
I'm
This
not
doesn't
go.
really sound like a. I mean, maybe wise to let the authorities.
I'm gonna let
I mean,
them
you
know.
are an authority. You now the authorities now know that.
What we're everyone shut up.
3%.
We're all shutting up. Thank you. What we are going to do, he will say as he. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to make another humanity check for this. He sighs. He doesn't like what he's gonna do, but he says, "I'm gonna take you somewhere, and they're gonna investigate. We're gonna see what makes you tick, and we're gonna make sure that you're not a threat." And
No! Don't take him there. They're gonna fuck it up. Can I look at him? Can I do experiments on you?
no,
This does seem like a kind of Ordo thing.
Yeah, don't take. They don't know what to fucking do. They're just gonna
Actually,
do
think
some
about it.
bullshit.
This is entirely in house. Now I think about it, because it's like
it's ironic actually. 'Cause the place I can't actually say this, but I know the place that I'm taking him do Ordo level heinous experiments.
Yeah, but it's not
Um,
good. We're better at it.
created by
out of
someone
character.
using Ordo knowledge. He
Out-
was.
Out-
He is an Ordo, and was. And that's it. Like that's all. And he hasn't really. Has he
All
done
right,
anything?
okay,
to the domain of
okay.
this?
No,
okay.
not
I
really.
mean, I got a dissertation's worth of research on Revenants right now. This might be really good to
All
add to
right.
my research.
Izzy, shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
I just
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
All right. So Archon hat. The Archon hat is on. We respect me
hate
when
that
I am
hat.
wearing the Archon hat.
How it's stupid on you.
I mean, I'll be okay. Archon, could you not say it's very difficult to respect you when you say that?
Marcus lights a cigarette.
We will
And
try.
He
But
is
it's
so
quite
tempted just to grab Izzy by the hair and face her onto the bar.
We're gonna fight. We don't want to fight.
No,
Uh,
I'm gonna fight.
anyway,
But he'll say, what we're gonna do about this is I am gonna take Mr. Irons into my custody, and we are going to take him back to our haven, at which point, yes, Izzy, you may examine him. We will
Yeah.
ascertain if he is a threat, at which point I will make a formal report. Then, based on the formal report, we will locomote forward. Okay?
Sounds fair.
Can I at least get 5 minutes to write my will?
I'm not gonna kill you.
You're not going to...
I'm not
Wait,
Invictus.
is
I'm
this-
not gonna kill you.
yeah. I mean, if he's being censored, never mind. I don't know anything. Bye.
I mean, you can if you want to, but like, I'm just saying.
He will hastily bow before you and walk away, and then literally vanish in front of your eyes.
That
I
guy's
like
weird.
that guy.
But
All right,
Nikolai,
let's
you
get
have
this
a-
show
you
on
have
the
a-
road.
You have a business card in your pocket when you go to look at it later.
Me?
Yeah.
Neat.
As
All
I-
right. So in that case, Mr. Irons, I'm going to wait outside in the car. If you'd like to come out and join me in a few minutes, cool. We will get this show on the proverbial road, and we'll, yeah.
He nods as he has a begun cigarette and just sort of gestures to it. Just a minute, please.
Okay. On a side note, if it helps, I'm going to beat your sire to death.
You get a very, very weak smile out of him for that comment.
Mm-hmm.
I would like that.
hey, if it helps, out of character, at least you're not going to the shard again.
Right?
Says who?
Listen, I'm fine. I actually got myself in a shit ton of trouble because I didn't want to do immoral experiments on people, so you're welcome.
But yeah, So anyway, Marcus is smoking the cigarette, and he just looks defeated, quite frankly. It's sort of defeated, surprised, tired, annoyed. This just hasn't been a good evening for him.
All right. On that note, I have to love and leave you guys. I'm also going to kind of drag Terry.
Yeah, actually, I
because-
thought it was signed up for tonight, but apparently I'm not. I'm signed up for Sunday. And you got too many people in there now.
Okay, cool. I mean, you can still come if you want. I don't care.
I might just come and creep.
Marcus hands over the shadow sword to Mr. Goodman and says, "Please take care of it until I return."
I mean, you can take it with you.
No.
Why not? In case we get
Because I don't
attacked.
want to be cleft. I don't want to be cleft in twain by it if something bad happens.
Why would he? Fine.
Bear in mind, these things are famous for berserk frenzies and incredible amounts of rage and destruction, and I don't know if you're going to trip something.
Nobody has any faith in me. Fine. I mean, it wasn't suggesting that he hold on to it while we experiment, but we could just have it in the house in case, other stuff happens.
On that note, I really do have to go, so I will talk to you all later. It's been a pleasure. Pip-pip.
Goodbye.
All right. Sounds like the scene's ending.
Yeah.
I assume so. So, what does Mr. Goodman say to that? Oh, be right back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So it's just us three.
Yeah.
Well, if you need any occult supervision on this, if it turns out not to be medical.
I mean,
Yeah. Why won't you slip me some of your blood while you're at it?
I won't do that.
I don't like being made a slave. Just to let you guys know.
Either. I promise I will not blood bond you. I will not make you a slave. I might old yeller you behind a building if it comes to that. But I will it will be for a good reason.
Well, with actually, since Glenn isn't around and can't give me an answer on that, Marcus will have the sword with him, but he'll keep it in the sword bag, and he'll just quietly go with Izzy, and goes, "Yeah, for what it's worth, I give you my permission to test what the hell's wrong with me."
I mean, it could be that guy was just fucking with you and everything's fine. It's a possibility. Let's hope for that one.
If that's the case, I'm gonna find a way to repay the favor.
If he is who I think he is, he wasn't.
I fear that you might be right again. God damn it! I hate it when you're right.
I know, right?
Right. Yeah. Make light of my possible demise, won't you?
Could be worse.
You're not going to be. You're going to come out of this fine, I'm sure. I mean, you haven't gone insane yet, so I severely doubt you're going to go insane with her poking you. You've been in far more stressful situations. We've got an order watching your back, so that's another plus side. Plus, I'm probably going to go poke some strings at the actual order so and see if I can get more information on this situation.
That would be welcome, Nikolai. And I know I give you sometimes a hard time, but so far you have been pretty honest with me, so good luck.
Thank you. And I'm sure you'll be... I'm sure nothing too bad will happen. Nothing you can't scrape through.
I guess I've scraped through worse. Anyway, let's not leave the Deva waiting. We know how they can be. And with that, he nods to the kindred around and leaves. Upright, straight, stoic.
It'll
Well-
be fine.
I now know one more.
Okay. Then, if nobody has anything else left to add, I believe that'll be a good place to end the scene. Thank you, players for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye bye.